Self-Aware Millennial.
How do you feel personally about periods at the moment?
It's kind of funny because my roommate just started her period like yesterday or the day before. And so, like, how appropriate to wait right now, right as I'm about to do this interview. So I personally think that they're fascinating, and I'm really into the cycles of the moon, and I've seen it connects to the moon and spirituality, and I think it gives women a certain amount of magic that men don't necessarily have access to.
Ooh, magic. I love it.
True.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. Keep going.
Yeah, cycles, like everything, that is connected. And I'll be honest, I'm still learning about the anatomy of it and like the hormonal science behind it. Because background on me, I'm a gay man, and so I've never dated a woman or really been in a romantic relationship with a woman. All of my best friends have been girls. My whole entire life were women. And I've always lived with women, like always. And so I've witnessed it, and I've seen the cycles, and I've had some experience, but I also have a different perspective, having not dated a woman in a way. So there's like certain anatomical things that I'm still learning about. But that's my stance on it, really.
Cool. I love it though. So you were saying that they're fascinating. When did periods begin to fascinate you? Like, do you remember a time in your life where you were like, oh,
Yeah, I feel like this is probably a generic answer, but I think the first time I ever learned that that was a thing, because as a penis owner, I obviously don't have periods. And so the first time I learned that women go through that, I was like, wait, what? like so confused about the whole concept. And that was, I was probably like 13, 12, something around that age. Whenever
you didn't know periods were a thing until you were 13.
Probably
around
not.
13.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Wow. Okay.
My mom would never tell me about it. And then, at that age, I think most girls are ashamed of it or embarrassed, and they weren't going to tell me. And so I didn't know that was a thing. And then it was I was like 12 or 13, and I was like so shocked because I'd gone my whole life and I never knew that women did that every month. I was like, what?
I never even actually thought about that. I wonder how, I might be putting up another survey. I might be, I like when people, hold on, I gotta write this down. I'm going to ask more penis owners, when was the first time they knew what a period was? Because I feel like women, we have to know, because at an early age, because it's coming. Like, your female elders or whatever will start noticing that you're growing breasts or something like that, or like they know it's around that age, and then they just start like giving you hints, and you don't even know what's happening. So it's like, but like with boys or penis owners, it's like, I could imagine that it may not even have came up because it wasn't of interest or of worry, I should say. So I'm gonna ask. Ooh, you know what? I love these surveys that are happening too, because these surveys, like the survey that I had yesterday with the women, I was just trying to find out, because I had another conversation with someone about, we were talking about like, she was talking about how some girls only have periods for like 2-3 days, and I was like, I know you lying. Like that's a luxury. And so I was curious to find out, because she's one of those people that only has a period for like four days or something like that, and that's still considered short. And I was like, that's a blessing. And then she said, but her period the entire time is horrid, because I think it's all just coming out all at once, and like all of it, like it all comes out so violently that once it's over, it's over. But then they have other women that have longer periods, but it's more spaced out. And so I was just curious, and that's why I conducted the survey yesterday. I wanted to see how many women had like if their duration was a certain amount, like how, like where their symptoms lied, like where their more uncomfortable symptoms lie. So like their nausea, their vomiting and diarrhea and all the other stuff. So I got a decent amount of like, that was like really, I'm including that in the podcast. But now I'm gonna ask the guys about when they found out about what periods were. Let me
I'd be interested in that. Yeah.
When, hold on. Yeah. Let's see. When did you Okay, that's perfect. Wow. I thank you for that jog my memory. Okay, cool. Where was I? Um, so I guess to get into your sexuality, is it unheard of to discuss periods in the gay male community at all? Or like, is it even a subject because of the same reason we were just talking about?
I'm trying to honestly think if I've ever talked about periods with another gay man. I mean, I'm sure, excuse me, I'm sure like in a conversation with a woman present, I've talked about it in the presence of other gay men, but I don't think I've ever like really had conversations with other gay men about periods. I mean, I kind of mentioned this to you before, but like partly why I want to do this interview is because there is like a level of like, not with all gay men, of course, you know, but there's a light level of like misogyny and like, ooh, vaginas, like literally I've heard gay men say that, and it's just like, whatever. I don't know if we can curse, I'm sorry.
No, you can. It's completely okay. I don't mind cussing. You express yourself as freely as you need to. That is why Self-Aware Millennial is in existence.
Okay. But well, I think there's also lack of education, particularly among the gay male community, because we don't experience it ourselves or we're not always up close. So I don't think I've ever talked about it with another gay man.
Okay. So would you say like in the community, and I mean, I know you don't represent the entire gay male community, but like, do you consider, or do you think or feel that a lot of them are feeling similarly to you on this, where like maybe they want to know more, but you just don't really think about it, and until like a woman is in your presence, or a vagina owner is in your presence?
I think it's just because we don't know as much, and it's not, I don't really know how to put it. I just think most gay men, it's almost like, since it doesn't really affect us that much, it's just not really in our mind, you know? I just think we don't. But actually, now that I think about it, I did have a friend once who we talked about the magic of the period, and he was like also like me, like very into like the moon cycles and spirituality and stuff. And he this was like a little out there, but hey, I'm here for it. He was talking about, he and his like 3 women or vagina owning roommates, he would collect their period blood and he would paint with them as like a magic thing. Which actually, I have a friend, and I'm not going to disclose who it is, but I went over to her house recently and she is doing the same thing. She's making paintings with her period blood.
I'm impressed. Does she have those paintings online anywhere? Because I would love to highlight them.
No, this is the first time she's trying it.
Okay. Well, if she wants to commission one of her paintings, tell her to hit me up.
Okay. I will. It was funny because on that subject, whenever I was hanging out with her the other day, she showed me how she was working on it. And then at first I was like, oh, you know, it was kind of jarring. And then she was like, something that gross you out? And I was like, honestly, it's not that's period blood. It's just because it's blood. But I was like, it's very beautiful though. Like, and I'm sure it's like powerful painting, you
But
know?
does it? Well, I guess did you when you looked at it? If she hadn't told you what it was, would you even know what it was? Like, did it look?
Um, Maybe not. If she hadn't told me, I may not have known. Because it looks kind of like watercolor, although um I know you've experienced this. Some of the and she talked about this with me too. Some of the parts of the blood wouldn't even out. They were like thicker, you know?
Yeah, yeah. There's
So,
like blood clots sometimes, and yeah, some of the blood, depending on when it's coming out thinner, darker. Depends on the time of the
right.
week, of the period. The
That's
cycle. Yeah.
telling me about, which I had no idea, you know? So I was
Mhm.
like, ah, thanks.
Yeah.
So yeah, see some of the like clumpier parts in the painting. So I guess it wasn't just paint, which that part was a little like hard for me to look at because I've never seen that and I had no idea. I was just like, oh, I'm not grossed out, but you know.
Yeah. Well, I find that's awesome. I think that's really cool.
Yeah, no, and I think it'd be like such a powerful piece to have in your house. Like so cool.
Yeah. Well, I got like a couple more questions for you. Not actually, this might be the last one. Unless like as you're talking, I always like I'm that kind of person that I have some questions, but like once you start talking, like I'm starting to ask more. But this one I have. Why is this such a long question? Okay. Oh, I think this was a good question. Okay, so I'm gonna just read it off because that's how I wrote it. It says, for you, it must feel reassuring that women are comfortable enough to discuss the contents of their period with you. What would you say to your gay male counterparts who want to develop that same trust factor with the women in their life?
Hmm.
I know it's sometimes organically already the case because of reasons that can be in a completely different episode, but you know, I still feel like there can be a deeper understanding and conversation between vagina owners and penis owners that are gay males as well. If that makes sense.
Yeah, that's a whole thing. Yes.
Yeah.
But I think most gay men already are open to talking about it with their girlfriends or vagina owning. Um, but I think I have a unique relationship with some of my girlfriends that we talk about it, and that like, I mean, we like are comfortable like walking around naked. Like one of my old roommates, we like never wore clothes, and like, man, I saw everything you could ever.
Everything.
He was like, "Look, my tampon string." I was like, "Hey," like I'm just a very open person in general, but I think most gay men are fine or comfortable talking about periods. But I think all penis owners, gay or straight, we should get more curious about the period because, especially, I mean, you know, not to get all preachy, but why do you have,
Get preachy. Get preachy.
like,
That is okay. These are the
like,
times, man. We have to get preachy. Preach.
yeah, like why are condoms free and tampons aren't? I'm sure y'all talked about this already, but like, what? Seriously, what the fuck? Like, that's insane. I still can't believe that y'all have to buy tampons because you have no choice. Yeah, and I mean the fact that like, from what I've heard from some of my friends, like the tampons are extremely uncomfortable. Like, I bought one of her first Diva cup, and she said it's still not comfortable, but it's better and cheaper. So,
Diva
and I
cup.
got
I have a Diva cup. I
you
love my Diva cup. It's the best thing. I still have tampons and like pads and stuff around, but like I don't necessarily need them nearly as much as I would much prefer the Diva cup because I mean it's a little bit more expensive, but you're saving money in the long run because that's all you need. You don't need to keep going back to the store and buying disposables, if that makes sense, because you have
right, yeah,
something that's not disposable for months and
right.
months, and if you take care of it years on end, so it's like you're saving yourself money.
Yeah, and then even you know have since my this friend has had the Diva Cup, I've learned so much more because I've seen, or we've talked about how many times she has to empty it. I'm like, you really bleed that much?
Yeah.
Like, so I've just learned so much because like we talk about everything all the time.
Yeah.
So it's like, and I'm curious about it too. So I want to know. So I think that's another important thing for penis owners to do is be curious. Yeah. We should want to know because it's important. It's half the population. It's our mothers. It's the people that made
It's
us.
how you got here, kind of, in a way. It's
Yeah,
a part of it, you know?
right. And then I think even the more penis owners know, the more vagina owners can know too. Because I just think it just hasn't been talked about enough or like researched enough. I mean, I could be wrong in that, but I feel like there are more advances we could do that. I don't know.
Well, as I was telling another, the couple that will be on this episode, I feel like if men had periods, this wouldn't be an issue or a problem or like if we both had to deal with it in the same amount. While it's on my mind, because I think this is just going to be a reoccurring question that I ask any penis owner that I come in contact with about periods. But I'm curious to know if anyone has described to you what it feels like when it's like what cramps feel like, and like just that overall feeling of being on your period.
Oh yeah. Not only have they described it, I've seen it firsthand from several friends. I remember one of my first experiences with that was in high school. I was probably like 16 or 17.
Mm-hmm.
And we were in a dance class, and one of my best friends, or my actually best friend, she was on her period, and she like bent over and she had to go sit down. She had to like stop dancing because it hurt so bad. And she was like, cramps. And like, she popped Midol like crazy. And then I learned what Midol was from her, and it still hurt that bad because she was still in so much pain. And another friend of mine, who I danced with as well, she would sometimes not be able to come because every time she gets her period, she throws up a lot. She has really bad diarrhea, and she's like, I just have to take today off, which I was like, that's intense. She is in her mid-30s, so I don't know if age affects what the period does to you. I mean, I know pause it can, yeah. So I'm not sure if that was a factor, but so yes, I mean, we've discussed it, and she's like, but I've also literally witnessed it.
Right. Well, I feel like you have a lot more knowledge than a lot of penis owners, honestly. But I think it's because of your curiosity, so it's refreshing.
Yeah.
But I really hope that you still are able to learn some more things on this episode once it comes out.
Yeah.
It's a lot. I mean, I'm learning things, and I'm, it's weird.
Right.
But I love it, and I'm really excited for it, and I'm very hopeful that it'll be educational. I'm trying to like also include many like facts and polls from the people that I already know. And I understand that, I mean, because I want to grow this community, and I think growing this community is kind of understanding where people are already at. Understanding that the community that I am trying to create is not a representation. I would love it to be a representation of the like everybody around this entire planet, but I mean that could come at some point. But I know right now it's just specifically mostly people in New Orleans and in various parts of the United States for right now. But I know the realities of others if they see the Self-Aware Millennial, I'll start getting different perspectives, and maybe they'll be different or maybe they'll be the same. So, I'm kind of excited to see where it is, but I think I want to make sure that people are aware of that when they watch this episode, because a lot of the opinions and the polls and the surveys I'm getting are from people that I already know. But thankfully, I know a diverse amount of people. So that's
Right.
helpful, but like it's like I know that that's not necessarily like it could be misconstrued in some way. So I have to let people know like it's just the people that are watching the Self-Aware Millennial or following the Self-Aware Millennial right now. And it could change. And that's what it means to be self-aware. You got to know that evolution is a thing, and that as things grow and things transition, they're not always going to be the same. So, boo. And also, I realize I need a lot of male followers on this train. So if you got people and gosh, like I realized when I was like doing these surveys, like if I start talking about periods, the women are right there. And if I ask like penis owners, I'm like, penis owners, and then like it takes a little bit for them to like start, talking or whatever. But it's wonderful. But I realize that I have an imbalance. I have more women than men in my following at the moment. I want it to be a little bit more equalized. So working on it.
Definitely share and promote.
Yeah. One day at a time. Thankfully, I'm really thankful for this pandemic for that reason, because I wouldn't be able to dedicate this much time to my craft in this way, which is not a way that I've ever really done it before. But this is definitely a wonderful way to like get to talk to people during the pandemic and like just like. It's been a rewarding experience. I'm trying not to look at it I'm not trying to look at the bad that's been happening, even though I'm aware that it's all around me. But I think for my mental health and my positive vibes and like my coast to keep going, it's easy and better for me to focus on what I can control right now.
Mm-hmm. Oh, absolutely.
So that was my tangent.
Yeah, no, that's good. Got to take care of your brain,
Yeah.